Holla holla, it's your boy George Billionaire, and you're listening to Cappy Talk 100.4 FM, Harare's Heartbeat. With yours truly, Becky K.
So we are 6 months into the year. Tombodzukira kuma New Year resolutions and check them out a little bit and try and find out how far have we gone with those resolutions. I was actually thinking about this last night, and I'm saying, Naimwari, it's June already, and today being the 5th of June, but yesterday was the 4th, and I was like, 4 days into a new month, let me take a look at what I have accomplished so far. And you know, with accomplishments, there are certain things that are within your control, and then there are certain things that are not in your control. So the things that are within your control, how much of that have you accomplished? I know a lot of people write New Year resolutions. Some have given up on those resolution things for obvious reasons, and some for not so obvious reasons, and some because social media has told us resolution same script, just do it better, and so we end up not knowing what to do exactly. I, for one, I write it down every year, and then I tick. Okay, last year I wrote that I am going to eat more vegetables. Did I manage to do that? If not, it remains on the list until I have accomplished it. And then I cancel it out or check it out when I know that I've mastered this thing. And then I add something new to the list. So resolutions can provide clarity for goals. Writing out a list of goals provides you with direction. They allow you to plan for your course, for the future. Without goals, you end up wasting your time, money, and energy, which leads to feeling overwhelmed and unprepared for opportunities. And you know how George is always talking about the acronym for POOR is passing on of opportunities regularly. So if you're not planning these things out, and if you're not resolving within yourself that I need to achieve certain things, you are passing on opportunities that may arise. So choosing what you struggle for will determine whether you are happy or sad at the end of the day. And this is what we are talking about with George today. Anzina George, but no pizza. You know exactly which hard it is that you are going to go for. So our topic for today is choose your hard. Pick a struggle. What is it that you want to focus on? Tata zonke, bamba zonke, Count down. You wrote those things down, and now you just have to rearrange them in order of priority. I was talking to my sister this morning and letting her know about something amazing that happened today. And she's like, yo, girl, how are you managing? How are you balancing this thing out? And I say to her, I hate it when people ask me that question, because in my books, ain't no such thing as balance. You make things work. One thing is going to lack. You just need to then prioritize your time as to fill in those gaps. 0719 100 404 is our WhatsApp number. What is it that you have resolved? Half mark of the year. Go back to that list. Go back to it. When we come back, we speak to George and we get into Hustle Hard.
Holla holla, it's your boy George Billionaire, and you're listening to Cappy Talk 100.4 FM, Harare's Heartbeat. With yours truly, Becky K.
My Chaneta, welcome to Cappy Talk. Thank you for tuning in. Mr. Isaac P. Ripa Mount Pleasant, Murise, Mama Madison Jr. Hi Becky, good afternoon. Tiripopa Cappy Talk 100.4 FM. Pandamungwata Becky Tiripotese, Pushkana 3 p.m. Briscoe in Mount Pleasant. Tatenda Mariumbe, how are you doing? How was your weekend? We will answer all those red carpet questions after Hustle Hard. Mr. George.
Becky K, what's good?
In studio with us every Monday.
Hustle hard.
Doing it right.
That's what we do, you know. The word hard is hard.
Yes.
And a lot of people are going through hard times.
Mm-hmm.
But our topic today is choose your hard. You know, what do you consider hard? And, looking back at most of us growing up, we had a hard life.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at where we are today, we still have a hard life.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll find you are only where you are because you choose your hard. You know, being broke is hard. Being rich is hard.
Dude.
You know, going to work is hard. Being unemployed is hard. But ultimately, we need to become a people who choose what we want. But the thing about choosing your hard has a lot of sacrifice in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll find, I'll give a very simple example, and I always see this image on social media a lot of times.
Yeah.
There are two guys who are digging, and they
I
are
know that
pursuing.
one. Yeah.
They are pursuing minerals underground, and they're going through a hard time. But then what happens is that one seems to get his reward sooner than the other.
Sure, what, Zasha?
And then the other now is demoralized because they have seen the success of another.
Before their own.
Little did they know they had just a little longer to dig, and their reward was going to be far bigger than what they saw others getting. And, you know, it's painful that majority of people, you know, we're going through a hard time. But, you know, tough time brings out tough people. And we need to be a people who ultimately know what we want to be. And it's a choice. You need to choose your hard. You know, that story depicts that, you know, and, you know, we see so many people right now. There's a lot of pressure in life.
Yeah.
Where people see people living the lavish life, and they think that, you know what, maybe they're a huge failure in life. But every single thing that happens in our life happens because we have put in the sacrifice, the hard work, and we've done what other people don't do. Here on Us So Hard, we're always saying, if you do what other people don't do, you'll have what other people don't have. Saka upenyu ya unokunanga wakaoma. But then, are you going to be that person who stays true to that thing and, you know, works harder and longer at your craft, even though others look like they are blossoming?
Yeah.
You know, one thing I like about flowers, and this flowers blossom at different stages in their lives.
Yeah, they do.
There's time for jacaranda trees, and it's all purple. But during the year, you don't notice the jacaranda. But trust you me, pane zvairi kutoita underground, ichigadzira its season.
Come on.
And it's hard. When you see it right now, it looks like it's a dead tree. And some of us out there look like things are not working. But you know what? When things are like this, it doesn't mean you should stop working. You need to keep on to something. Don't let that disease we talk about here, the excusatitis and the blame game on everybody else, hinder you from becoming the person that you're supposed to be. You know, and all it is blaming everybody else. And when you do that, you choose your hard. You choose to remain poor. You choose to remain ordinary. You choose to remain the person who so much is going on for everybody else and not for you. So it's important as people that, you know, out there.
Yeah.
But choose your hard. Let's be those people who are going to say, you know what, things may be hard, but that doesn't mean I need to sit on my hands. I have to be somebody who is progressively working towards something. And there are people who I look up to here in the country and outside.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that they went through hard times. Because if you see somebody who is successful and has made it, they went through a hard patch. Trust you me, when I began my journey of entrepreneurship with Pro-Air, I had twins. I was earning $300. Maria Pera Pampa, things were hard. But had I not made the decision that I made, I probably would have been in that same situation today.
Oh, yeah.
But I chose my hard. Yeah, Kwenda Kubasa was good. Getting $300 was good. You know, I've spoken about it. I was told, no, don't quit your job. Don't start this new journey. But for me, and I had to make a
and you
personal,
had to make a decision, yeah.
a personal, conscious decision. But this is my personal hard. You know, and a lot of people out there, but then you're not doing it for you. And had I listened to my father, to my family members, my friends, I would have let them choose my heart. And I probably would be somewhere else right now. And I wouldn't be living the life I'm living. Let alone, you know, I wouldn't be where I am today. I probably wouldn't be on radio. So I made a conscious decision to choose my heart, Kudara, and say, you know what? I'm going to pursue this thing. So many people told me azvibudirira zvishande zvisiyana nazvo zvokudaita zvema-aircon.
Yeah.
Haunomboenda kuchikoro chema-aircon.
What do you know about that?
Leave it alone. Ndezvevarungu izvo.
Let me take you back to that time in your life. Did you not then discover that they were only giving you advice based on their knowledge, based on their background, based on what they also had been told? So now they were trying to implement their views and opinions onto you. Like if I'm scared, be scared also. Let's all be at the same level. Yeah.
And it's a funny thing you should say that. And I remember my father was never an entrepreneur. He was an assistant director at City of Harare.
It was scary for him. Like,
yeah, so
what does this boy want to do?
Look, I started, delivering things on a bicycle, and look, I've gone up the corporate ladder. So, Ramba Orikoko. But then, everybody has their own journey with life.
That's it.
And you can't blame anybody for where you are, which is why we said our topic today is choose your heart.
Yeah.
If you let your parents, your partner, your spouse, somebody who is influential in your life to choose your life, you will be a person who regrets it for the rest of your life. Because that's the worst thing about letting other people choose your life. Because which I regret, I wish I had just started Pandaka Taura. And back to me, I don't regret anything that went through my life. Trust me, when I started Tangandisina Startup Capital, I asked my father, my brothers, people around, for assistance. But it was hard, and nobody gave me any assistance. And going through that hard time, hard times, once somebody faces a challenge, the level you quit at life will always define you.
That's
So you quit.
Not optimistic at all.
You just think the worst. The more you are like that, you'll be an outstanding individual. So many people said this, that, and the other. But for me, I had to choose my heart because Nanda never had two, right? I had to make sure I provide for my kids and my wife. And it was just not about me. And I couldn't, people had said, my father had a dream about me. There was a lot of instilled fear in me.
Yeah.
But I had to choose. And there's somebody out there who's listening, who's thinking, I have to make a choice. And looking back 11 years later now, that's the best decision I ever made.
Yeah.
I didn't blame politics. I didn't blame the economy. I didn't blame the rate. I didn't blame a political party. I didn't blame A and Nama O levels. At that time, all I had was my A levels.
Right.
And I didn't blame anybody else. But you know what? Let me try to at least do something. And you know what? Look at it, 11 years later. It's paid off. I mean, Pro Air now is doing amazing things in the country and abroad. And it's because I chose my heart. Saka iwewe kwa uri koko, what are you choosing? Are you going to be okay? Ndakakurira ku Glenora A. I always say this. Kune vanhu vachiri ku Glenora A. Kune vanhu vachiri kurarama life yeikoko. There's nothing wrong with that. But understand, you need to choose your heart. You can only become what you choose to be. We say it all the time, according to your faith, it shall be done to you. So you end up having the life that you want because of the choices that you make. And a lot of people think, it's not as easy as you say. Trust you me, there's been a lot of sacrifices I have made to understand the air conditioning sector, to understand I've gone to expos, to understand, how these things work for me to be a solution provider in my industry. But Vajinji don't want to do those and take those sacrifices to become unique and a specialist in your industry.
That's it.
There are people who are not Gazaranzwara, there are people who need to make up, there's a sacrifice they make for them not to remain where they are.
That is
and this is why they are the most preferred people. And all of this is a choice. So today on Hustle Hard, we're telling people, choose your heart. Life is hard.
But
right
life
now,
is hard.
Panengwe munu aripa ICU, right? He's having a hard time, right? Iwo uri kufema oxygen. right?
Une choice. You've got
Une hard what time, but hard yet but ultimately you need to choose regarding what you want to be in your life.
That's true.
And you know, we can't blame people. Yeah, blame game, excusatises, you know, procrastination, never, you know, pursuing what we want to become and achieve as our goals is what's going to make you become that word we say, you know, the insanity. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, because you've chose to be that person. And the greatest hindrance of success is what is called the comfort zone. When we're comfortable, pavari.
Panamai vanunzi vakati joni. Actually, the last time when you mentioned the whole comfort zone thing, she was like, you know, when you said it in Shona, it hit home more than it hit in English. So maybe you want to do that. Kuti vakateerera vanyatsonzwa kuti icho chiro chinonzi comfort zone.
Ndicho chiri kuita kuti vanhu varambe vari pavari. And chiri kuchinja chete pavanhu ka ivhudzi rakuchena and hapana chiri progressive chikuitika muupenyu because uri kusarudza kaupenyu ikako. And hakuna munhu wandoziva, if you look at all the people we know who are doing progressive things.
Yeah.
They are making progress because they are doing something deliberate in the same economy that you are complaining and murmuring about.
That's it.
Yes, things are tough in the economy. But can you see there are people making strides? One thing I've noticed about vanhu vanocomplaina stereki, havasi vanhu vanoita zvinhu, vanhu vane ma-excuse. But vanhu vanomuka rate iri pairi ipapo, voshanda. They accept kuti iripo. Kuti mwana kuti, I remember my days yange iri pa 700. You can't change certain things. Because remember,
that's it.
Just the same time of 24 hours that opiwa, the same rate yairi kushandiswa yo, it's the same for, it's parallel level field for everybody. But kune vamwe who are making it in this environment. So as individuals, usachoose kuva munhu wekuti uramba uchingocomplaina, uchingoti this, that and that. Hapana kwatozosvika ultimately. Because I know vanhu, and you know, we've spoken about the chickens and the eagles.
Yeah, we have.
Huku, those chicken friends vatakambotaura in the last episode, vanongokudza rate nasiri pa chicken. You imagine how things are. Tiri kuenda kupi as this and the other.
Information
it doesn't help.
Chakakosha
as an individual is to adapt to change. Because if you fail to adapt to change, you will die. And this is why majority of people who are still where they were 5 years ago and nothing has changed in their lives, they are failing to adapt. Because people who adapt are the ones who seize the opportunity. Ndo vasirana POOR. They don't pass off opportunities regularly.
Yeah.
They are seeing what's there, they jump on it, and they make do with what's there. But the people who then choose the hard life, which is the comfort zone, kuti hai nine one stream of income, hai nzvokurambe nchitraya rega ndirambe ndiri ipapo. But you know what? Sooner than later, your hard is going to become harder. Because kubasa kwakatemba ikoko, uchangonzi one day, sorry Becky K, somebody else has come and or a computer has taken over your job, we no longer need you.
Chat GPT yatinitse.
Panika automation, and guess what?
Done.
That's it. And you lose your job. Then hard yako kayawaifungot yanga mbori hard is even harder. So you know, I look back and I really thank God for I don't know what it was in me that made me choose that decision. But whatever it was, I took the right instinct and I jumped off ship. And I promise you that's the best decision I ever made. Because I wouldn't be the person that I am.
No, and you wouldn't.
And kuneona wazhinjika, wakaramba uchichka, you know, fear abbreviated stands for false evidence appearing real. Saka fear uri kutyaka iri musoro mako chete. And you are choosing kurarama ka life kari confined. And you are so scared what's going to happen. But then kune vane liberal thinking, who approach the day as it is, they are fearless. Those people get opportunities and they get things done. And do anorara my life ya munozochiwa mchiti uyu because munhu hana matyira akangoti kusiri kufa ndekupereka nditry. And mukutry momoka with consistency, with the sacrifice yekuita, put in the time to work on their crafts and etc. Guess what? They've become who they are. but kune munhu uya aikudza kuti ndinaona vakawanda vandotarisa nawo vaindudza kuti siyana nezve-entrepreneurship izvi zvambori kubasa but ndakaona kwavari ka vachiri kwandakavasiya ikoko, and to imagine I could have been there, and I wouldn't be the person that I am. Saka, choose your heart. As you listen to me, choose your heart. Don't live a life to please people. Do things that you learn from, because fail is not failing. Failing is learning. Fail abbreviated. I'm abbreviation. Fail. FAIL stands for first attempt in learning. Saka you never fail in life. Mwana paanozvarwa achikambaira aramba achisumuka achidonha, but guess what? Anopedzisira kuzofamba. So is it with life. So is it with a venture you want to get into. Pane pazvinozongoti zvaita. Ini ndakamboedza zvemaphone shop zviya zvakaramba. Ndakamboedza zvekutengesa mafoni. But all of it was me choosing my heart. I didn't want to be a person with one stream. I never wanted to be comfortable. I always wanted more and more. And trust you me, vanhu vari kuteerera vese vanotodawo zvinhu deep down. But today is a day where on Hustle Hard you're going to remember this session kuti, you know what? Failing is not failing. Failing is learning.
Yes.
Because pane chinhu chaunotodzidza mukufela imomo. You're learning something. And kune vanhu vaya vanochera goridhe vaya handiti. Imagine wakasiya wadosvika papocket umwe woyo obva watodai so.
But
you see now, but you just need to keep on keeping on. And I can tell you.
0719100404 is the number to get in touch with us. We are speaking to George Billionaire, who is our guru here on Hustle Hard, and he's been doing this since we took over the show. Since the 3rd of April, George has been coming through giving us business tips, especially on the hustles that we have in our lives. And his main focus is not on the companies that we work for, right? His main focus is what are you doing after the 9 to 5? What are you doing during the 9 to 5? Is there money? You are generating money for somebody else. Good afternoon, B. Anzi Rowandima Tirito Sepa Buru 0.4. Baba Brian Pasibiti. Baba Brian, which hard are you going to choose today? Nematambudziko makatarisana now in terms of business. What is it that you are focusing on? Mama Madison Jr., thank you so much for tuning in and joining us. We are talking choosing your hard on Hustle Hard. Hi Becky, inini zvangu jeraka. I don't write anything down because I am busy surviving. When I tried writing things down, the only thing I had at the end of the year was that piece of paper. So I resolved to only write the milestones achieved. I also agree that with that saying, in the comfort zone is just a formula to perpetuate the same conditions. I wish there was a name here because yes, but bakunyora. So he resolved. He actually made a resolution. He resolved in his mind that I'm not going to write any plan down. I will work, do my thing, and then as I achieve the milestones, that is what I am going to be writing down. 025, thank you so much for sending through your message. I remember I think it must have been 2017. You know those family meetings that happen and it's about you. Where people gather because you are such a problem, and this is what happened to me. So we had the family meeting outside my dad's gate when my mom was still alive, bless her soul. We were parked outside my dad's house in my dad's car, and it was my dad, my mom, and my 2 siblings. And I could tell meeting it's me. People are gathered here for me because of the life choice that I had chosen, a certain career path. And all the words that were there were, it will not work out. Entertainment, and I'm thinking, I'm not a musician, but anyway. And they went on and on about my life choice. Go back to working 9 to 5. Why did you leave that job? Why did you do this? And I let them go on and on and on. And I remember, although the statement wasn't choose your hard, but at that moment I had to choose my hard. I had to choose my hard in terms of, am I going to give up a dream that I've always wanted to do? Yes, I'm doing it in Zimbabwe, but it's going to pay off one day.
Yeah.
It is. I'm going to be on, international stages. I know it. And then there was the side of my family on my back. Which hard do I want to do? Do I want to find it, like, do I want to work towards penetrating the industry, or am I going to allow this to continue? I had to choose my hard, and I chose my hard. And I said, family, it's okay. You can continue to popota until kingdom come.
That's right.
And they ended up having to believe in me because I just didn't say it. I acted it out and I gave results. I acted it out and I gave results. It ended up being something that my family members, even now, they're like, do you know Becky? Becky didn't. And I'm thinking, but you remember?
Do you remember
in 2017, Pamakandi Garissa? So there's certain times where you really do have to choose your hard. Apana situ struggle. And the struggles are there. But which struggle are you picking? Which struggle are you going to go for and say, as opposed to this? When you opened up the talk, you mentioned that being poor is hard.
Yeah.
Being rich is also hard. Because with more money, there's more decisions that you have to you have to make. But I'd rather solve more challenging problems with my money than have no problems to solve because of the poverty.
That's right.
So choosing that struggle, and I'd rather struggle
on the other side.
On the other side.
Than the other side.
Than the other side. Yes.
Yeah, it's so true. And I like to relate to simplicity because I think on Akawanda it's all, Becky's story and look where you are today. And people don't understand that you went through a time where you actually thought, but look at what perseverance and believing in yourself does.
Yeah.
I can say the same with so many people. And but akuna change zona like you're saying, why right now everybody's like, Dibeki we do. But once upon a time they were, talking down and wanting, and upenyo wakasiyana. Never compare people to likes, No two apples are the same, they're different. And with our parents, we need to understand them. I forgave my dad, and we're the best of people now. I don't know. My dad, I love him to bits, but we need to understand, don't let people define you. Don't let people choose where you ultimately will end up. Chinchesi churwendega in your life. The people who I know who are saving, who are my apprentice, who are on attachment. All you're doing is, it was all going to make sense years later. Why you worked where you were and you went through that hard time. Then there's processing. But when Wakawanda, they don't like the hard time. But the hard time brings out the perseverance. Do you really want this? And then once an opportunity opens for you, you're ready for it, you jump in, and guess what? It comes out.
So let me ask you this. How does one then identify which hard to toil for?
Okay.
How do you identify that this is the hard that I'm going to toil for? It's hard, but I'm going to toil for it.
Do you know, anything that comes easy, there's a saying that says, and I think Takash told us last time, about the people who win a lot or people who get success quick. It doesn't last. But I can tell you that you are the person that you are, or the people that are great business people are who they are today, because they persevered through the hard times when nobody else, saw it working. So for me, I chose my hard because I had no other option. Vazhinji vano vane option nye comfort zone. Inini pandakabva kubasa kwandakabva, I had no option yekuti no, got on my education qualifications and I'll go look for another job. That was no option because if it wasn't for my mom who spoke to somebody to get me that employment, I wasn't going to get a job because I had tried. It was hard. So I knew chinchanda kuita and in option ye fallback plan. I didn't have a plan B. So when vazhinji are okay because one plan B, I can always go look for a job. So for me, my hard yanga is an option. I have kids and a wife to take care of. I have to work hard. And that was it. So my majority of people had yavo ineka zvakaramba ka ndozongodzokera ndonokanda CV rangu kuningi and I'll get a job. But when you don't have any other fallback plan, trust you me, your drive and your hunger to succeed yakasiyana nemunhu ane fallback plan.
Right.
And this is why you find one who make it ka anokuzoti what if you failed, what were you going to do? I was never going to fail
because I had no choice.
In my mind andakatoti zvandiri kubuda ndisinovhima uka handisi kudzoka ndisina nyama because ndakadzoka ndisina nyama ka ndotanga kuti chi because vanhu vese vada kudya kumba kwakatondimirira.
Yes.
So you choose your heart by how hungry you are for something.
There we go.
And vanhu vari comfortable. Nyaya ye-comfort zone ka chimbonoitsvagai monoti comfort zone chi ndo pamune makagara muchiti I'm okay. But your okay is not okay because kutaura chokwadi, your salary is not enough for you right now. And you can't blame your boss for the salary he's giving you.
Thank you.
You can't.
Yeah.
You have to choose. Okay, kana zvisiri kuita izvi.
What am I going to do?
Wedzere something.
Yes. Ndoiwedzera
And
sei.
vanhu vari kubasa, don't despise mabasa amuri amusiri kubhadhara mari amuri kuda. Pane zvamuri kudzidza muri ikoko. Kune vanhu vamuri kusangana navo vamusingambofe, makasangana navo dai makagara kumba. Saka uri kuincrease all your network reach of people whilst you are still in somebody's field. Until wazowana field yako, yawakuti yeah. But you're going to make use of those relations and all those things. So don't blame your boss and ask your boss for an increase. That's not it. But you need to alternatively make a plan for yourself that will make you become less reliant on other people.
Oh, yeah. Hustle Hard with George Billionaire every Monday between 12 and 1 o'clock. Today's topic was choose your heart. And in this case, we are saying life has problems, but don't let the problems choose you. You choose which problem it is that you want to solve. If you're going to continue remaining in the comfort zone, you're going to remain having the same problems. It's going to be a cycle. We need to choose our struggle because it's inevitable. You are going to face problems. You're going to have struggles. It's inevitable. Even the Bible says it. They are going to face problems on this earth. And so you are defined by what you are willing to struggle for. Choose your problems rather than letting them choose you. This is what George is saying. Kuti mahad akawanda, but we were hard yaurkuda ndeipi yacho. And I'm sure this can expand into all areas of your life and not just within the business, but in all areas of your life. What is it that you are willing to struggle for? And know this. The problems that you solve, that is what you are getting paid for. No problem, you're also over us.
Holla, holla, it's your boy George Billionaire, and you're listening to Capi Talk 100.4 FM, Harare's Heartbeat. With yours truly, Becky K.
So we've got 5 minutes left before we go on into the news. For next week's episode, we are going to do a question and answer episode. So from the time that you've been tuned into Hustle Hard, what questions do you have for George in terms of business, whether it's starting it out, sustaining it, staying in business, or even if you feel like you want to quit, you feel like, dude, every day, I'm not getting the gold, I'm not getting the diamond, like nothing, kind of cold, right? And maybe this is where you are in life, and you're just like, I need someone to give me some motivation, some encouragement to push or propel me in the right direction so I continue doing this thing. And maybe you've got questions that have to do with streams of income. What streams should I get into? What businesses can I get into? And I know there's that major big question, Eguti, can I start a business with $1,000? Even when I hear people talking about, can I start a business with $1,000? Come on now. So if you, whatever question it is that you have that has to do with business, next week Monday, George will be answering those questions. Any final words before you leave, George?
Yeah, one thing, and I'm going to end with this quote, the comfort zone and success can never cohabitate. If you want to become a successful, progressive person who is bringing in results, you'll never get them when you're in your comfort zone. So you have to choose whether you're going to stay in your comfort zone or you're going to do the opposite of insanity. And everybody else is doing 8 to 5 and relying on one stream. But you need to put in a little extra on the ordinary for you to ultimately become extraordinary. Choose your heart.
Wow, I like that. Anzi comfort ne extraordinary cannot be in the same sentence. You are comfortable, and then you're like, I'm going to be extraordinary. I don't know who you think you're trying to impress or who you're trying to convince, but not here, not on Hustle Hard. On Hustle Hard, our main aim is to make sure that those mundane little things that you find boring and irritating to do, you never know if you continue doing those things that you say are not important. You do not know where it is going to take you and where it's going to lead you. It is Capi Talk 100.4 FM. Keep it locked.